So, in abundance of ECS, abundance quote unquote, of ECS frameworks for Unity, things like famous entities and those other ECS frameworks. The main difference why Ursa is different, why Ursa was born, is because I myself wrote once an ECS framework that worked as a backend for Unity. It was a separate application that was communicated with Unity, had its separate serialization and whatnot, and it was heavily reliant on code generation because using generics and stuff like that, it's quite expensive, reflection and things. So the first thing is that Ursa works directly in Unity, right inside it. So I don't know why I'm writing this, but whatever. Okay, it doesn't require you to have a backend. It doesn't require you to have some form of meta programming like code generation, like Entities does. It doesn't have it doesn't have any extensive UI work that will require some huge maintenance costs because of all those editors, custom things. So my first aim was because I had experience with complex systems, and first one was simplicity. My English skills. Okay, so the idea came to me after I realized that Unity is actually capable of implementing ECS inside of itself. So Ursa uses Unity components. It uses what we already have in Unity. It uses the scene space. It works right inside the game loop. It doesn't go outside of the application. So built inside inside Unity. Next, which is very cool thing, Ursa serializes basically everything using the actual game objects and scenes in Unity as Ursa looks at things like game objects, entities that are built inside Unity on top of Unity components as a thing that you have to serialize. Like if it was just plain old data types, and this allows us to not create things like specific classes for weapons and specific drawers for them. That are just required you to have that weapon in the game. So instead, what we do is we have an entity that is a game object essentially, and we think of that as an actual weapon. It doesn't have any graphics in it. It doesn't have anything that is heavy for the instantiation or for the performance. It just has the entity itself and the component that represents that weapon. So if we were to try to move that weapon from one inventory, for example, from an NPC to the player, all we have to do is literally just reparent it. So upon reparenting, we write systems to understand that the children belong to inventory, and that is how we communicate and move stuff around. And because Ursa can fully serialize the state of the game, so basically it serializes a scene or an arbitrary set of components using Blueprint, it is able to fully save the whole thing that is going on right now in the game with all the game objects in it. It's almost as good as it sounds because it will require you some additional work, but yeah, I'll continue next video.